was just over a year ago when we saw these scenes coming out simultaneously across America. Thousands of people demanding justice for Trayvon Martin, who they say was killed in cold blood by neighborhood watch volunteer George Zimmerman. And HLN was there to document the dramatic calls for action.
The refrain has been, no justice, no peace. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now.
The 911 call coming out of Sanford, Florida, the night Trayvon Martin was shot, just as emotional and controversial as the public outcries.
Now he's coming towards me.
I don't know what's going on.
Are you following him? Yeah. Okay, we don't need you to do that.
So you think he's yelling help? Yes.
Fast forward to the present, suburban USA, these dads teaching their sons to be champions both on and off the court. We see pretty quickly these kids are taking their father's lead. Shot after shot, these dads have a lot to be proud of on and off the court. But how are they going to handle this tough issue and the conversations that will come up in the Trayvon Martin-George Zimmerman case? And we started to dissect what they would say by listening to what these men actually think happened that night in Sanford, Florida.
I remember there was a big sort of brouhaha about the president saying Trayvon Martin could be my son. Well, Trayvon Martin could be my son, right? I've got my own personal experiences about what it is to be a black man in this country. I bring that bias into what I see in the news and the news coverage. And when I talk to my stepson and my biological son, all of that is relevant for me.
She confronted Trayvon and found, why are you here? And then beyond that, something happened, words were exchanged, and I don't know who started what. Zimmerman was beaten up, how that happened, and whether the gun went off self-defense, I don't know. He was just doing his job.
And what we learned very quickly is, and admittedly, these dads say their backgrounds do shape how they view this case.
You feel it from a parent's perspective, and you can say, my child is gone, Trayvon is gone, because somebody took an action to take his life, and you know, I don't know how you justify it.
Eric Hunt, an IT consultant with both a young boy and stepson, 12-year-old Cole, said what happened in Sanford hits close to home.
What I do know about the trial is that basically Trayvon Martin was on his way to go get some Skittles and some iced tea. He was wearing a hoodie.
Luis Cuevas, a purchasing manager, honestly stunned at the series of events that took place involving Zimmerman and Martin. And with his son, 12-year-old Luis Jr. at his side, he says he is saddened that the shooting ever took place.
He felt like that person didn't feel into the neighborhood. So I assume it was like a rich neighborhood, and in those kind of rich neighborhoods, maybe black people was not expected.
But quite humbly, Adam Slutsky, a real estate broker and dad to 11-year-old Zach, questioned why race had such a pronounced role in this discussion about possibly just protecting property.
What I find is everything that happens sometimes in this country somehow turns into race, whether it's there or not. And you had, you know, you have your Al Sharptons and your Jesse Jackson comes in, and you don't know the whole story because they're making it, they try to spin it in a certain way, whether it's true or not.
He's obviously waiting for more details to come out about what happened on the day of the shooting, carefully relaying to his son what he believes Zach can handle at his age. But unlike Eric and stepson Cole, also Luis and his son Luis Jr., we didn't get the impression from Adam that he worries what happened to Trayvon Martin could hit his family in a similar sort of way.
You don't know the whole story yet, and so what happened back then was it really didn't, you know, it was in Florida. It wasn't something that affected me or affected my children. It was something, you know, there are other stuff out there that was, to me, was more important.